Yo, what's going on everybody? Xantos Vice here, and we are back with some more Punishing Gray Raven. I hope you guys have a great day. Yes, I'm finally back on the Punishing Gray Raven grind. You know how it is? Anyway, where we last left off, we had started with the Veronica floating record. And I have to say, it's pretty good. It definitely is a bit of like... Well, actually, I guess it isn't really too much of a slow burner because it's not needlessly so many like extra chapters or everything. But now I can kind of start to see where her hatred towards humanity comes from, you know? 'Cause even though someone helped her, it's like in the end, humans were turning against other humans for their own desires. But again, it's like there's still a couple things like, why was she like a special construct here compared to a lot of the other ones? It seems like your regular run-of-the-mill mechanoids. So, what exactly makes her different in that whole thing? When looking at the clear picture. And I guess also, we still haven't seen like where she gets to become a member of the Treasure Rock, you know? But that's probably just going to be to the end. I actually am kind of surprised we're getting a flashback for this. I didn't think that it was going to be like about her past. I figured it was just going to be more about her continuing to chase the Emperor. But I mean, to be fair, it's like, it's better to do that in a floating record as opposed to like somehow trying to input into a main story when it's not relevant, right? So yeah, we're going to finish this off today so that I'll finally be finished with most of the floating records I have to do. But don't worry, that doesn't mean I'm not going to do the other ones. I'm still going to do Crescent Sun at some point and Woven Prologue. It probably won't be soon though, because again, it's like I have other games I would want to put more of a focus on. But at the very least, we will be trying to do those, at least hopefully by the end of this year. But I just have to figure out when I have the time to do it. But yeah, anyway, let's see, what happened here? Oh yes, the fact that it looked like the human girl had betrayed Veronica, but was really the girl's uncle who did it. Like he was just keeping tabs on them the whole time and then tried to make it seem like she was innocent through it all. And yet she repaid Veronica by setting her free from becoming a vessel for that other person who's cooped up here. But beyond falsehood. And she still doesn't have her wings yet, so I guess she gets that after she escapes. At least I'm assuming. Darkness. Nothing but darkness. Veronica finds herself adrift once more in the endless void. Yet her consciousness module registers neither pain nor confusion. Only the sensation of resting comfortably upon something soft. The air doesn't reek of the same smell of machine oil and vital fluid from her memories. Instead, a gentle breeze dances across her frame, carrying with her a refreshing coolness. Then she hears a voice she knows by heart. Slowly, Veronica wakes up to the voice. She opens her eyes, she sees that same smile on her human friend. A cold jolt of alertness surges through Veronica's consciousness module. She pulls up right and reaches for her lance. Her fingers find only soft fabric beneath her. Where are we? Where they locked us in this time? Sarah only offers a reassuring smile in response. Bet it's that same nightmare again. It's been so long, and you're still haunted by those dreams every night. It's okay though. Why don't you rest a little longer? Veronica scans around familiar surroundings with cautious eyes, but finds no gunfire, no blood, no trace of laboratory equipment anywhere. Her eyes find no trace of the mechanoid arena's cold metal surface. Only humble, soft fabric surrounding her on all sides. Above her, the same fabric stretches and flutters constantly in the strong wind. Sarah excitedly catches the delicate snowflakes with her fingertips, her face lighting up with joy. Before Veronica even knows what's happening, Sarah grabs her hand and pulls her outside their shelter. The gentle chill she barely felt inside suddenly intensifies. This gust of wind carrying tiny white specks sweeps across her face. A vast expanse of white unfolds before her, something like the harsh, sterile white that permeated the laboratory. Something soft and pure, stretching as far as her visual modules can perceive. Feel the vision contains no cold, hard metal edges. It is free to smell machine oil and vital fluid that she can't be more familiar with. She's new to everything she's seeing now. Sorry about that, I have a bit of a sore throat. But Veronica remains unmoved by Sarah's cheerfulness. Cold, vigilant eyes continuing to scan the snowy landscape for any sign of danger. Be quiet. Get back inside and hide. Those people, they could find us at any moment. So you don't remember any of it. We escaped from that arena ages ago. Don't worry, everything in that place has been destroyed. No one's gonna drag us back there ever again. Destroy? Yeah, that mad woman. She tried to trap us by setting everything in the laboratory on fire. Then the whole place exploded. We're the only ones who made it out alive. Yeah, it's like, this has to be some illusion, right? Because no way. After trying to find the perfect body, why the hell would she give up like that and just choose to blow up the place instead? Sarah gently places her hand on Veronica's mechanical frame, apparently trying to pass along her sense of peace. Her human fingers, chilled from a long exposure to the cold wind, rest against Veronica's metal surface. So don't worry. We can stay here for just a while longer. It's probably the last snowfall before spring. It just stops so we can get back on the road. Two sit side by side in the soft snow, and the drifting snowflakes settle gently upon their shoulders. Where are we going after this? Anywhere we want. The world out there is big. It's big. So we can just go wherever we want to go. Or we can stay right here and make this place our home. As long as we can stay together like this, that's all that matters. Alright. Overcome her happiness, Sarah lies back in the snow and lets the soft powder embrace her body, seemingly immune to the coldness. Her eyes brimming with joy, gazes up at the vast boundless sky before turning to meet Veronica's. When spring comes, this place will bloom with flowers, just like in the painting. And when that time comes, Veronica picks up where Sarah left off. When that time comes, we'll take another photo together. Two of us sitting in the sea of flowers at sunset. Veronica gazes at the endless snowfield, attempting to construct an image in her consciousness module of this very place blanketed in flowers. She manages to see the flowers taking on different hues as bathed in sunset and starlight. Through it all, the two of them are together just as they are now, sitting shoulder to shoulder in this very spot. What about your mechanical bird trial? Let's take a photo here, right now. Sarah, however, falls silent. Veronica turns her head to find Sarah still in the same position, lying on the soft snow with her eyes closed, seemingly resting. She's completely unbothered by the cold snowflakes landing on her body. The snowfall intensifies. For moments, a thin white layer begins to build up on Sarah's face. So gradually obscures her features as it hardens into a ghastly white mask of frost. Aren't you cold? Veronica reaches out and tries to take hold of Sarah's hand from under the snow. Yeah, it's like, what is it really, though? The moment she touches it, everything before it shatters like thin ice, falls apart into fragments. Illusions in her consciousness module collapse and dissolve, revealing once again a blinding whiteness. This isn't the pristine white of a vast snowy plain. The sterile pallor of a laboratory built of metal and reinforced barriers. The she's now holding is the same temperature and texture as her own. Hard, cold, and metallic. Tense waves of pain search through Veronica's consciousness module once more. She knows her frame hasn't sustained any damage, yet she still feels that something's utterly wrong. Visual sensors receive clear signals with no signs of interference. She finds herself unable to analyze the specific data of what lies before her. A small mechanoid with a plain, unremarkable coating lies motionless before Veronica. She has no response to external stimuli, apparently in some kind of dormant state. Veronica can't seem to sense the flow of time. Everything she once perceived with such precision has now come to a complete halt. And then a hauntingly familiar human voice shatters this frozen stillness. Fancy finally meeting you, Veronica. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dolores, and I'm the master of this arena. The human's voice creeps straight into Veronica's audio sensors, carrying with it a venomous touch of a serpent. She whirls around, lands at the ready, only to find nothing behind her. Lands said nothing but thin air. The voice returns and floods the room. Veronica, however, cannot pinpoint where it's coming from. It seems to come from everywhere and nowhere. The human voice is like sticky spider silk, silently weaving through every inch of the cramped laboratory. The voice, instantly tugging at the data within Veronica's memory module, matches a certain uncanny human voice she heard before in the darkness. The same human voice that repeatedly tried to strangle her will to resist while she drifted in dark oblivion. So it was you all along. Sarah and I made a promise, but she failed to keep her end of the bargain. I thought I'd take a little nap and wake up to find exactly what I wanted. Never thought it'd turn out like this. So I saw to it that Sarah was properly punished for her little blunder. I left her consciousness trapped inside that mechanical shell, where she'd be able to take her time to reflect upon her mistake. Ah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. The voice continues as it goes from being intangible to taking one of definite form. Behind a one-way mirror in front of Veronica, the voice continues to spew unbearable venom. The mirror reflects Veronica's face twisted with rage. It swings her land, shattering the mirror into countless pieces. So there's nothing behind the shattered mirror. Then she hears sadistic, delightful giggling coming from somewhere else. Show yourself now! Don't be such a coward! Show yourself now and I'll lend you an ear to any last words you have to say. You don't want to wait until I draw my lance through your throat. Get nothing but giggling. Soft and sickeningly sweet. Girl behind the voice laughs like she's heard something extremely amusing. You know, Veronica, you're different from all the other mechanoids in this arena. They were no better than garbage, worthless, useless hunks of metal. Shut up! Come on, I had my eye on you all along. Let me at least finish what I have to say, will you? You know, your dear friend Sarah, she was ever so polite when she spoke to me. I know you want to wrap your hands around my throat and ask me to give you your friend back. But I'm not the kind of villain who's destined for a tragic ending. So leave it to me. Let's get ourselves ready for some entertainment now. Well then, you ready to meet your friend, Veronica? Wakey, wakey, Sarah. For her scraping of metal, the mechanoid that's been asleep mode slowly rises to her feet. I am ready to serve you, Master. Target of attack awaiting confirmation. Your target is Veronica. Now, kill her for me. Wow, that's fucked up.
ベロニカ、今回は特別な相手を連れてきたの。どう？嬉しい？
君はどうして？セロ。
ターゲットベロニカ、ロックオン。
セロ、正気になって。
ターゲットベロニカ、ベロニカ。
それは君の意識じゃない。あんな奴らに負けるな。
ベロニカ、私
助けてくれ。あの助けたま全員発狂しちまった。逃げろ。
これは一体。
私
あのクソ野郎どもを君に近づかせるものか。脆弱なゴミが。えい！戦うに値し脆弱なゴミが。消えろ。脆弱なゴミが。消えろ。戦うに値脆弱なゴミが。えい！えい！戦うに消えろ。当たれ。
ベロニカ。持ちこたえて。あなたは絶対に負けない。もうすぐ頑張って。整備室はもうすぐだから。起きてね。
ありえない。
さよなら。
セロ。 こつけてやる。
Okay, let's see if this actually means I actually get the full offer combo.
脆弱なゴミが、これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。
I mean, at least it's done for what he knows.
すべて終わらせる。全力を見せてみろ。隙だ
Oh,
ら
right.
けだ。
Now?
潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。
There we go.
脆弱なゴミが戦うに値しない。えい！これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。裁きを受けろ。ふん！全力を見せてみろ。ふん！潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。脆弱な消えろ。はっ！これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。隙だら全力を見せてみろ。すべて終わらせる。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。脆弱なゴミが、はっ！戦うに値しない。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。全力を見せてみろ。隙だらけだ。
Oh, he's helping me out too.
戦うに値しない。
Yo.
消えろ。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。裁きを受けろ。隙だらけだ。
There we go.
全力を見せてみろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。ふん！消えろ。
Hey, what you even do? That worked out well. Thanks, buddy. Oh, you're gonna help hold them back? Thanks, man. A real one. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I could go through this door. What is this place? What the hell was that about? What was this, like maybe rocker or something?
セラ。
That's Veronica, once we're out of here, we'll finally be free. A huge surprise for you. To finish modifying your frame, you'll have wings. You can go anywhere we want. Take you to a sea of flowers that stretches as far as the eye can see. Ah, I see. So it was then that she was able to, right? Damn. Okay, well at least that explains how she got the wings. Okay, she got in several places. What's he doing over there? He's doing fine. Also check to see if there's any other just Yeah, probably not that. Alright, I still haven't faced the overseer, right? I guess he'll be the
ベ
final
ロニ
boss.
カ、やっと来てくれたのね。
Not this bitch.
この瞬間をずっと待ち望んでいたの。
Oh, okay. Get help from the robot hawk. Oh, okay. Wait. How would I have gotten the help from him, though? Oh, would I have needed to do all that other stuff before? Because I did support him. Like, I talked with him. I sparred with him. Is that what I needed? That's actually how I got that, then. Well fucking played. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, I'm not that far from you. Wait, is this actually the final battle? Then how does this end? Oh, no, right, yeah, because, again, it's like... Maybe it also told me how she ended up becoming a part of the Church of Machina. Final battle. The winged mechanoid descends through the darkness like a herald announcing the end. Until tomorrow. Veronica strides through the deserted hallway with nothing standing in her way. The set her from her back has shadows in her wake. Support units that previously covered the arena and laid down suppressive fire against her now, lying grotesque twisted heaps. All the support units, apparently having fallen into bizarre chaos, are attacking one another. Shattered parts of them litter the corridor before they get stained with vital fluid leaking from their broken bodies. One of the support units, apparently having sensed Veronica's approach, pivots and locks its visual module on it. The visual module, usually aglow with a steady blue gleam, now frantically flashes its rapid pulses of crimson. Are you infected? She raises her lance and appears the energy core to now corrupted support unit. As the frenzied red light in its eyes fades, its piercing wail falls silent. Is that you, Veronica? I'd recognize those footsteps anywhere. A lance slices through the air and shatters the holding screen. Beyond it, Veronica finally sees her. Human girl hidden away all this time, while behind all this brutality and suffering. Veronica descends through the darkness like death, ready to take Dolores' life. Dolores, however, remains unfazed, maintaining her composure without budging an inch. She reclines on her sumptuous bed, enveloped in a sweet velvet and lace. Beneath these luxurious fabrics, her face is pale to the point of appearing translucent. Without so much as a glance at Veronica, she treats the mechanoid as nothing more than a long-expected visitor. Instead, she keeps her attention fixed on the array of monitors before her, display live footage of the hellish arena below. In the arena, the match is concluded. The loser's metal limbs lie torn and crushed beyond recognition, no longer resembling the mechanoid gladiator they once were. The victor's visual module pulses with the same frenzied red glow as the support units. Instead of savoring its victory, however, it launches itself skyward with terrifying force and soars straight into the audience stands. The crowd does erupt in cheers for the champion. Every arena burns with desperate pleas for help and terrified screams. The mech! It's gone berserk! Ignoring all the cries for help for the humans, its champion mindlessly swings its weapon as it carries out the same killing spree it did in this arena. Locking target. Attack. Attack. The weapon twists again and again in its human bodies, each strike blossoming with vivid crimson. To the mechanoid's corrupted visual module, it's no longer able to tell vital fluid from human blood. The exit corridor, the guide robots, once precise and helpful escorts, now merciless weapons that butcher fleeing spectators. More and more fragile bodies fall to cold, and feeling metal arms that fall into gruesome heaps at every exit. As time passes by, more mechanoids join the slaughter. The number of human survivors dwindles rapidly. A few survivors hide in the shadows, desperately trying to call for help, but every terminal now displays nothing but white static. No one in the arena knows exactly what's causing the chaos. Mechanoids pierce through flesh and bone, and the victims realize it's the punching virus that wreaked this havoc on humanity. A new age of unprecedented cruelty has quietly begun. What in the world is going on? Help me! Somebody please! I don't want to die! These desperate human pleas don't last long, so no one's vibrant arena falls into utter silence. The only things that are now still moving are the mechanoids, all shapes and sizes. The visual sensors pulse with the same manic red glow. Yet the human girl witnessing this carnage shows no trace of fear or panic. Instead, she wears an excited smile across her face. You're doing so well. You always manage to crush them all no matter the circumstances. Sickly flush spreads across Dolores' pale face as her eyes gleam with desperate hunger. Dolores ignores the bloodshed gunpowder hanging in the air, her greedy gaze sweeping over Veronica again and again, as if she's looking not at the terrifying war machine, but at him. Veronica, you truly are a flawless work of art. The perfect new body to house my mind. Such wicked desire floods Dolores' eyes, impossible to hide. You done? I don't have time for this nonsense. Now, meet your fate. Veronica approaches Dolores, but Dolores doesn't make any attempt to escape. Not a flicker of fear crosses her eyes. An ornate handgun rests by her pillow. Useless against a mechanoid as powerful as Veronica, she has no interest in reaching for it at all. Fool. In a cold blue gleam coming through the massive aquarium, Veronica finally sees Dolores for what she is now. Beneath her elegant clothing, countless tubes stink in all directions, their rough edges piercing her skin, imprisoning her within an exquisite cage of her own flesh. The instant it finally dawns on Veronica what Dolores meant just now when she said she needed a perfect new body. All the clues that Veronica has gathered so far connects like strands in a web, leading to the venomous spider. She has orchestrated everything behind the scenes, and its center. Her broken body, Dolores has been plotting something audacious. Transfer her consciousness into what she believes is the most powerful mechanoid. And now the human, the parasite in this case, finally meets her desired host. The human can escape. In fact, she can't even raise a hand against the mechanoid. Well, well, well. Are you going to strike me down now that you've seen the truth, my dear heroine? Dolores, however, utters these very words with a mocking smile on her face. Her vulnerability doesn't seem to concern her at all. As soon as Dolores finishes talking, Veronica's pupils contract sharply. Sensory systems flutter warnings. Something's approaching at incredible speed. As the dust settles, the object that was coming at Veronica reveals itself. It's none other than the Overseer, now standing obediently by Dolores. Now, it's time we get some cleanup done. Oh goody, I've been wanting to fight this guy. Let's see if he's actually worth it. I always do love these cutscenes they have for like the start of a battle. Oh wow, okay. He means business now. Oh great, he's a giant knight. Oh shit. Of course he is a giant laser. Ah damn it, I'm still gonna dodge it. There we go. Ah damn it. Missed him that time. Oh my god, why am I messing up so much? This is not my best shot. Damn, I'm barely doing anything. Oh, okay. This is definitely gonna be one of them.
弱
This
な
is
ゴ
definitely
ミ
a
が
battle of
戦
endurance.
うに値しない
Oh, okay, yeah, so I can't hit from the side.
これでお
I
前らの
figured
罪
this
を
because
終わ
if
ら
you
せ
have
る
a shield, it's like there has to be a weakness to it.
全
At
て
least
終
these
わ
kinds of
ら
guys
せる
before.
潰される覚
I
悟
mean,
は
he
で
ain't
きてい
that
るだろう
bad.
な
Once he takes
脆
out
弱
the
な
form.
ゴミが消えろ
Nope.
脆弱なゴミが戦うに値しない
Nope.
これでお前らの罪を終わらせる
Go.
本当に困った子
There we
役
go.
立たずね
Alright. Oh shit.
消えろ
Oh,
殺し合い
damn
は
it.
痛快だな
Oh, got
脆
it.
弱なゴミがえい
Oh shit. Oh, okay, he's doing multiple stuff. Oh, he's doing a leap.
えい
Nope.
彼女を殺して
What the heck? Oh, great.
同胞を裏切ったクズめゴミ箱で反省するがいい
Oh no, what's he doing now? What the fuck is this? Is this like a Gate of Babylon shit? No, I already dealt with one kind of enemy like that in Eastern Nordics. Can't be allowed to have that shit happen now.
お前とお前の機械の犬も
Crazy.
死を迎え入れろ
Excuse me, you know how many times I've been through the Gate of Babylon before? How many times I faced a Gilgamesh like opponent? You ain't the first, and you certainly ain't the last, buddy.
消えろ
Nope. See, I knew the
脆
dodge
弱
this
なゴ
time.
ミがこれでお前らの罪を終わらせる殺し合いは痛快だな裁きを受けろ
Come on, come on, come on. Oh my god. Of course he can launch that.
潰
Why am
さ
I
れ
not
る覚悟は
surprised?
できているだろうな消えろえい
Okay. Doing
脆
fine.
弱なゴミが
Okay,
これでお前らの罪を終わらせる全力隙だらけだ
there we
全て終わらせる
go.
隙だらけだ潰される覚悟はできているだろうな
Ooh, that was good fun. Nope.
戦うに値しない
Nope. Nope.
えい
Nope.
えい裁きを受けろ全力を見せてみろ
Ooh, parried that shit. Oh, he can just
潰され
ram
る
with the
覚
shield?
悟は
Okay.
できているだろうなはっ
Crazy. I would think he tried to make the most of it. Oh no, here we go again.
殺
Oh no,
し
he's
合い
trying
は
something
痛快
different.
だな
Oh shit. But do I have to like perfect guard against that? I guess I do.
脆弱なゴミが
Oh god. Come on. Oh, I see. Oh. Nope.
えい脆弱なゴミが
Like I said, we're finishing this now, buddy.
殺し合いは痛快だな
Oh. Nope.
これでお前らの罪を終わらせる
Charge this up.
隙だらけだ全て終わらせる
Now. Drive.
潰される覚悟はできているだろうな
Okay, there we go. Ooh.
戦うに値しない
Nope.
脆弱な
Like
ゴ
I
ミ
said,
が
nice try though. Try
戦
again
う
for
に
a
値
pen.
殺し合いは
Ow. Never mind. Time to judge this. What do you think of it?
全力を見せてみろ
Oh. Nope. Come on. Go.
潰される覚悟はできてい
Now,
る
while you're
だ
still
ろう
in the
な
arena, I'm getting you.
の試合は痛快だな。
Try.
これでお前らの罪を負われてる。全力を見せてみろ。全て終わらせる。
Drive again. You ain't worth shit to me,
潰され
buddy.
る覚悟はできているだろうな。
Clarify restarting? Nice. I mean, to be fair, she does heal herself pretty well, so that was a good thing. Because I'll be honest, it really would have been down to the wire when we got down to our last health bars if she didn't heal. I'll be completely honest about that. That would have been a touch and go moment. Because I did at least get invincibility frames when I was like doing the lance thrust move, but aside from that, it was like it wasn't like I was completely invincible to a lot of those. I still took some damage, so very good thing we had the healing. Silence floods the room. No human cries, no mechanical wiring, only stillness remains. Veronica's footsteps shatter the silence as she makes a beeline for Dolores. Dust hangs in the air as an imposing mechanoid lies shattered. However, Overseer's massive frame now resembles the collapsed arena itself, forever part of ruins. Either by sheer luck or because Overseer shielded her from all attacks before its destruction, Dolores remains completely unscathed. I will also say, if I had to fight Overseer without the wings, like before, I probably would have lost that fight a couple times. I'll be completely honest, because I would have only had a basic combo and that's it. Dolores remains seated, gazing at Veronica with icy contempt, as if this mere posture could preserve the top-down dynamic between them. But Dolores' fine garments and trembling limbs betray her fear. Dolores attempts to speak, but in an instant she feels crushing pressure around her neck as Veronica, her former property, seizes her by the throat. Circuits on her back snap and crackle as they tear loose, while Veronica holds her body high in the air. Got any more tricks up your sleeve, human? Dolores nearly blacks out from the pain. The survival instinct keeps her conscious. Gritting her teeth, she presses a remote device she has hidden in her palm. A fake gunshot cracks through the air as dust billows from beneath Dolores' seat. Veronica's mechanical pupils instantly focus on the source of the sound. A small scorch mark appears on the synthetic skin of the mechanoid's face. Nothing more. The remote attack device hidden under Dolores' seat has failed to inflict any meaningful damage upon Veronica's frame. Is that all you've got? The mechanoid loses her grip slightly, giving the human a chance to utter words of repentance. This gesture doesn't elicit the fear or pleading Veronica expects. Instead of a mysterious smile, Dolores stares back coldly. What did you expect to hear? Me begging for mercy? In Veronica's cold stare, Dolores' face starts growing twisted. Her calmness and nonchalance gone. Her eyes are showing a glint of madness. You're nothing but a machine. A tool. A worthless piece of junk. Do you really think a tool like yourself stands any chance against your creator? Human shrill maniacal laughter fills the room. Veronica's brow furrows, grip tightening. With it, Dolores' maniacal laughter suddenly comes to a stop. As the pressure around her neck intensifies, Dolores' eyes begin to lose focus. Veronica, however, notices that Dolores doesn't seem in pain at all. She seems relieved, so it's exactly what she wants. Right then it dawns on Veronica. longer in her fight mode, Veronica seems as cold as ice now. You want to die. You couldn't get the new vessel you wanted, so you'd rather die. You'd rather die because you know you don't stand a chance against me. Lois freezes for a moment, then erupts in manic laughter. It's a bunch of nonsense. Think you can fool me with that just because you can't bring yourself to kill me, huh? Veronica shakes her head. Feels no pity, only a sense of irony. The arena, mechanoids slaughter one another, while humans like Sarah and Rocco do whatever they can, hoping only to survive. But now none of it matters anymore. Veronica shakes her head, trying to rid her consciousness module of these memories. Turns her once toward the arena exit. But the anomaly that erupted in the arena has now reached her side. Overseer is still lying motionless on the ground until moments ago, suddenly flares to life. The visual module is glowing a harsh red as this massive frame begins to stir. It's a telltale sign of a mechanoid about to lose control. Wait! Veronica! Dolores stares at Overseer in terror, a horrible realization dawning on her. In this moment, Dolores loses her last shred of her facade. Struggles to twist her damaged body, desperately trying to drag herself away from Overseer. Away from the very same mechanoid that has been most loyal to her, whom she wouldn't have been able to manage her very own life. Veronica, don't leave me! Please, kill me! Veronica, however, is now on her way, casting not one last glance at Dolores. Corrupted, Overseer launches a savage assault against his former human master. On Veronica, the agonized wails of humans' mechanical roars blend together and become Body Arena's brutal symphony. In the center of the arena, a crimson flower blooms across Dolores' body. The very human who once ran this arena is now nothing more than a mutilated body left to rot on the floor. Veronica stows her lance and turns toward the ruins. Fuck you, bitch. Pick out your comeuppance. Visual module scans the cold, stiff human corpses littering the ground. Faces remain frozen into terror and despair at their final moments. Only moments ago, these same people were lounging arrogantly on their seats, cheering as mechanoids slaughtering each other for their entertainment. Now everything lies equal in the ruins, dead humans and mechanoids alike, all buried under the same collapsed structure. Veronica stops when she reaches the ruins. Amid the cold wreckage of twisted metal and mutilated body, she spots a familiar figure. The exhausted fledgling that has landed to rest its weary wings, Sarah now lies motionless on the ground. A faint smile still on her face, she seems as though she's seeing something beautiful in a peaceful dream. Sarah. Sarah ever offers no response, unless they return to slumber. Veronica reaches out to gently wipe the blood from Sarah's face. She feels the very same coldness as her own when her fingers come into contact with Sarah's dried blood and pale skin. Snow begins to fall. Delicate white flakes drift down to rest on Sarah's face. Veronica looks up. It's the first time she's actually seeing what she's only seen before in her memory modules. In that fleeting dream, she's seen these delicate white specks. Snow. But Sarah told her these white specks are. Arena's dome lies shattered, allowing the first rays at dawn to filter through as snowflakes dance around or dance down from the open sky. At long last, the freedom Veronica and Sarah both longed for is here, not quite in the same way as they previously imagined. Time to go. Veronica cradles Sarah's stiff, cold body against her chest, furls her dragon wings, and leaps skyward. Standing atop the arena's highest dome, Veronica beholds the open world for the very first time. The endless snowfield stretches before her, its vastness exceeding the limits of her visual processors and computational capacity. Everything from her life in the arena now lies behind her, reduced to dust and ruins. Gradually, the snow buries everything across the vast plains. Dormant plans and destroyed man-made structures alike vanish under this endless blanket of white. Across this boundless expanse of snow, not a single human footprint remains. Veronica doesn't yet know what that the punishing virus has ended humanity's reign and set in motion a chaotic new chapter of Flesh and Steel. The rising sun pours into Veronica's visual modules. Experience unlike any artificial light she's ever seen. Spreads her wings and soars to the boundless sky. Oh, cool! I get this thing. Cool. That worked out well. I'm assuming there's no more fights, because again, it's like there'd be no other way to get achievement. Or maybe they would put an extra one, because again, it's like there was this secret one, which was to what's it called? For the escape this hellhole one, where Hawk helped us out, right? So maybe for people who didn't get that one, at least I'm expecting. What? No, I pressed the damn thing. What do you mean? Okay, here we go. Directions, objectives, combat techniques, assigned tasks. These were all indelible protocols embedded into Veronica's consciousness from her life as a mechanical gladiator. Why is it that she can't bring herself to let go of the lifeless human body in her arms? Monica has no answer to this question. She simply continues her solitary journey across the endless snowfield. Snowflakes settle gently upon Sarah's body, and these silicate crystals will never melt. Monica presses on against the biting wind, leaving a trail of footprints across the barren wilderness. Mechanoid's consciousness only registers the data markers of each day's beginning and end, able to grasp the true meaning of time. Then one day, it isn't the snowflakes that come with the wind anymore, or ever something soft and colorful. The flower petals are what they are called, according to Sarah. However, Veronica senses a distinct shift in temperature and humidity. A gentle breeze stirs as the sun crests the horizon once more. The world around her is now a tapestry of colors, utterly unlike the snowland she's grown used to. Flowers sway in the breeze and carpet the landscape to the distant horizon. The breeze sends the petals through the air as it leaves gentle touches on Veronica's bionic skin. Flowers. Flowers are wonderful things. Just looking at them makes me happy. But there isn't any here. There's nothing but metal here. Probably just gotta turn flowers into dried specimens if they ever get any. When we get out of here, I'll take you to see real flowers. Somewhere with hillsides completely blanketed in blooms. Veronica gently lays Sarah's body among the blossoming flowers. Flowers wearing Veronica's optical modules as her metal fingers touch the moist soil and velvety petals. Feel nothing like the cold metallic object she's used to, leave her momentarily disoriented. Just looking at them makes me happy. Veronica repeats what Sarah once said, failing to see how flowers can make anyone happy. In her consciousness module, Veronica feels a flutter. Something from her mechanisms falters for just a moment, as if trying to convey an emotion beyond a mechanoid's interpretation. I still don't understand a whole bunch of things that you told me, but I think you would have wanted to stay here. As the sun descends toward the horizon, a small grave marker stands in the field. Blooming flowers surround the rough wooden sign, but the dying sunlight bathes everything in a deep crimson glow. Veronica stands quietly before the makeshift grave. Nothing in her program tells her what the appropriate response should be at this moment. In the all too brief time with her human friend, Veronica never had the chance to fully appreciate the complexities of humanity. It was once saying to her friend who will never return. Sarah never told her the appropriate thing to do if she ever found herself in a situation like this. The concept of graves and what they meant was only mentioned in passing when Veronica and Sarah compared human body decay to deterioration of machinery. Veronica now realized that she should have tried to be a little more responsive when Sarah was trying to imagine a free future. Every day is just sleep, wake up, and work. I'm so exhausted. I could really use some quality rest here. Hey Veronica, what do you think the world outside is like? I wish I could be like that little bird. I'd love to be out there flying. With you by my side, of course. I'm sure you'd be gigantic with wings though. So do let me perch on you if I ever get tired from flying. Look at you, Veronica. You got wings now. Veronica turns around to find Sarah's face beaming with joy. You just gotta learn how to fly now. How do you like the world out there, though? It's huge, right? Yes, it is. Have you decided where you want to go? Are you a mountain or a sea person? I'm not a big fan of scenery. I think I'd look for settlements with intelligent machines instead. Oops, true. You're not into these things. Sarah tilts her head to one side, seemingly lost in thought. But, But I will pay those places a visit if I get the chance. The mountains and the seas you mentioned, and the birds and the flowers. Taking it back for a second, Sarah breaks into a smile. That's great. When you do, you have to tell me how you like them. I won't feel a thing about them. I just want to see what they're like. That's great too. I mean, it's great just seeing them even though you don't feel a thing. Sarah tilts her head back casually to look at the setting sun on the horizon. The smile takes on a deeper, more profound meaning. The sun's going now. We should get going, Veronica. Alright. Goodbye then. With it, Sarah freezes quietly, before it dissolves into fine dust and vanishes into the air. For Veronica stands a small tombstone, a crude wooden marker with a delicate wreath of flowers gently swaying on the night breeze. Conversation just now is but an illusion. Goodbye, Sarah. Good night. Veronica turns away, melding into the last golden rays of the setting sun with her wings spread. A boundless world stretches before her as the winds of freedom lift her wings. At the farthest edge of the horizon, a new destination comes into view. Once upon a time, there was a scholar of unparalleled brilliance. Rather than trading his wisdom for wealth and status among the smart and powerful, he chose to live in seclusion deep within the forest. He immersed himself in an ocean of knowledge, hoping his research would free everyone in the world from the agony of parting with their loved ones. As years slipped by, no amount of books could dispel the scholar's profound loneliness. Gradually, he was enveloped and devoured by the darkness of his heart. Then one day, a princess who had lost her way in the forest stumbled upon the scholar's cabin and rescued him from the terrible darkness that had consumed them. The scholar was captivated by the princess's beauty, but she admired his brilliance. And so they lived happily ever after. Dad, this story is so weird. In fairy tales, there's always the guy who goes into the forest to save the girl. Why is this story the other way around? I see what it is. I bet this is how you and Mom met, right? Oh my, you're always so smart, my smart little Dolores. Unhappy with the story, the little girl cuts her father's storytelling short. Her father wasn't upset at all. To Gaz's daughter, he breaks into a gentle smile. So, why did you call Mommy a princess? Is it because she's as beautiful as a princess? Your mommy was certainly as beautiful as a princess. But what's most important is that she came to my rescue back when I had nothing to show for what I had done. That's what makes her my princess. Capiche? Aw, what about me? Love Mom, but you love me? Of course, Dolores. You're my little princess. I love you to no end. Linus lifted his pouting daughter high into the air and spun her around and around until she finally burst into giggles. Bathed in morning sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Linus and Dolores shared a moment of perfect happiness. Easy now, Linus. Be careful so she doesn't fall. What are you guys up to, Dolores? I don't usually see you so excited. The young woman slowly wheeled herself into the room, elegant attire, unable to conceal her pale, sickly complexion. Linus quickly sets Dolores down and rushed toward to take his wife's hand with concern. Isabel, why are you up so early? How are you feeling today? Didn't the doctor tell you to stay in bed? It's fine. I just got bored and thought I'd rather be up and about for a bit. Dolores drew herself into her mother's arms and clung to her neck, affectionately. Easy there with your mother, Dolores. Remember what I told you about your mom? Dolores, however, pouted at her father's scolding, remained in her mother's embrace, refusing to let go. Linus, it's okay. I'm fine. Your hair is all messy. Come here. Let me brush it for you. Dolores settled quietly on her mother's lap, like a little kitten, and allowed those gentle hands to smooth her tangled hair, weave into an elegant hairdo. Isabella always carried that subtle fragrance, and her touch was forever gentle. Not being with Mom like this. Mom seems perfectly healthy, but his dad always told me that Mom needs to rest and I shouldn't disturb her. Not to mention that Dad always looks mad when he says those things. In Isabel's embrace, Dolores quickly forgot what her father had said. When Isabel finished fixing her hair, Dolores quickly climbed into her mother's lap like an agile kitten, before her father could even tell her to stop. Mom, how did you and Dad meet? You get lost in the forest and then run into him? Come on. Dad made that up. You didn't really think that's what happened, did you? Your dad was a very talented scientist. He was a wizard on a certain level. We manned a lab where we worked. Well, how did Dad do his magic when he still worked as a wizard? It wasn't magic. He was doing an extraordinary experiment. It was a remarkable experiment. He wanted to transfer human thoughts and put them into little robots. People would be able to live happily ever after, forever with their loved ones, and your dad succeeded. Sounds like an amazing experiment. Unfortunately, no one else believed in what your dad was doing, which is why I purchased the lab. I wanted him to be able to focus on what he was doing. Oh, I see. So that's where Dolores had originally gotten the idea from. What? What does purchase mean? And why didn't people believe him when he was so brilliant and amazing? Come on, Dad. You can do it. Thomas walked over, with a smile as he gently patted his daughter's head. Without giving Dolores a piece of his mind for staying on her mother's lap, Harley held Dolores up and cradled her in his arms. Let's not talk about this anymore. It's all behind us now. You see? I'm not even working on that project anymore. I'll have the butler clean out all that equipment from the basement lab to free up the space. I'd much rather spend time with you, Isabel. Fleeting trace of melancholy crossed Isabel's face. Before she could say anything, she was suddenly interrupted by a violent fit of coughing. Dolores watched her mother in helpless panic, completely at a loss for what to do. Isabel? Hurry up and get us a doctor! Alice anxiously set Dolores down and rushed to Isabel's side, all the while shouting repeatedly at the doorway. I'm fine. Don't worry. Hearing his master's call, the butler hurried into the room. Madam, the doctor is already on his way. How are you feeling, madam? I'm fine, really. Let's drop this already, so the doctor doesn't have to come all the way here for nothing. Isabel shakes her head gently, takes a moment to study her breathing, then forces a tender smile, trying to put everyone at ease. Summer vacation is almost over for Dolores. We haven't even taken a family trip yet. Edmund, please ask them to clean up our beach villa for us. Now is the perfect season for a short stay there. Isabel, I really don't think you should travel as you are. You see... Isabel simply shakes her head gently, turns to the butler to arrange their trip. How soon can the villa be ready? Rest assured, madam. As I do every summer, I've already made the arrangements. The villa is prepared and ready for your arrival at any time. That's wonderful. I can't imagine running this family without you, Edmund. Is my duck float still there? And all those dolls in the attic? It's been ages since our last visit. Of course, Dolores. I've instructed the staff there to keep everything safe and sound for you. Wow, Edmund, you're amazing. You never let anything go amiss. It's an honor to receive such praise from you, Dolores. Well then, sir, madam, you excuse me for now. I must attend to the travel arrangements. The butler quietly withdraws and gently closes the door behind him, in the efforts of privacy. But behind the heavy door, the room remains quiet as ever. As nightfall settles over the mansion, gentle moonlight spills into every corner of the estate. Deep into the night, Isabel remains seated in Dolores' bedroom, gazing tenderly at her daughter lost in dreams. Several times she reaches out to caress her daughter's face, only to withdraw her hand slowly, afraid of waking her. She now smiles at Dolores' sweet little face as she looks at her. She remains there until her hand rests upon her shoulder. Without a word, she reaches up and grasps her husband's hand. Isabel, it's late. You should get some rest. Leaving for the beach house early tomorrow, remember? To her husband's gentle reminder, Isabel shakes her head, never taking her eyes off her daughter's face. I just want to look at her like this. Even a few minutes more is precious to me. I really don't know how much longer I still have. Dennis kneels before his wife, hands on her shoulders, gazing deeply into her melancholic eyes. Hey, come on. Didn't the doctor say your condition was stable? You just take care of yourself. I'm sure things are gonna... I know what's going on with my body. I know I don't have much time left with you guys. I thought if I could just have a few good years with you before I'm gone, I guess I'd be perfectly happy. Since Dolores came into our lives, I've been wanting to have just a few more years to live. Just to see her grow up. I just hope she grows up healthy and all. Never has to suffer from this incurable disease I have. I'll figure this out. I promise. No matter what happens, I'll always be with you, my love. Linus holds his wife tightly. The moonlight outside remains gentle, but to him, the waning moon appears nothing but a painful reminder that he's slowly losing Isabel. No light can shine upon Linus's grief-stricken heart, not even the light of the moon hanging in the night sky. The next day away from the Everett mansion, the family visits the long-missed beach. The gentle ocean breeze and brilliant sunshine, the family seems somewhat relieved at the unavoidable. Dolores races excitedly on the long-missed beach, laughter carried far by the sea breeze while her parents watch her adoringly from a nearby parasol. Even her mother's normally pallid face now glows with a hint of color in the gentle sunshine. After playing on her duck-shaped float for a while, Dolores soon catches sight of something new on the beach that captures her interest. Her eyes widen with wonder at the tiny hermit crabs inching across the fine white sand. Dolores gingerly reaches her hand out and, after several attempts, manages to catch the biggest hermit crab. Satisfied, she holds the hermit crab between her fingers, watching curiously as the little creature flails its tiny claws. Got a super big hermit crab! Dolores runs to her parents, beaming with excitement as she proudly displays her prized cat. Be careful there so your fingers don't get hurt. It's okay, Mom. I'm not scared of it at all. Look at you, my brave little Dolores. Can I please take it home and keep it in our big aquarium, Mom? That won't do, sweetie. It's your mother's prized aquarium. Can't use it to keep these little critters. Over Dolores pouts with disappointment and turns hopefully toward Isabel. Dolores, let's return your little friend to the ocean. That's where it truly belongs. Its mom and dad might be waiting for it to come home to the little house under the sea. Hearing what Isabel said, Dolores relents and nods obediently. Okay then. Gently carries the hermit crab as she scurries back to the shoreline where she puts it into the lapping waves. Goodbye, little friend. Having done as told, Dolores dashes back to her mother's side for a compliment. What she sees, however, isn't a smiling Isabel, but her mother's face is now pale and contorted in pain. Dolores watches Isabel slump helplessly from her wheelchair onto the ground. Mom, what's going on? Isabel! A brief moment of happiness shatters as a familiar heavy shadow of misfortune silently descends upon, but once more upon the Everett family. Lois has been sitting in the hospital hallway for hours. The harsh air conditioning chills her to the bone. The hard chair offers no comfort. The hours drag on into the night, but her father hasn't emerged from her mother's hospital room. A good time, Dolores fidgets with the ribbons on her dress. Edmund, why isn't Dad coming out yet? When can Mom come home with us? Dolores, your father has asked me to take you home first. I don't want that. I'm waiting for Mom and Dad to come home with me. Dolores starts into the hospital room only to find her usually gentle, soft-spoken father gripping the doctor's collar and shouting furiously into his face. What do you mean there's nothing we can do? Do you have any idea how much money we donate to the hospital? And now you have the nerve to tell me this? Quack. Useless. Worthless. His face ashen with rage, Lana shoves the doctor to the floor and storms out of the room, completely ignoring his little daughter trembling in the corner. In the corner, Dolores freezes in helpless confusion. Edmund rushes into the room, helps the doctor up from the floor, and offers profuse apologies. I'm so terribly sorry about this. Linus is just... he's having difficulty accepting the news all at once, which is why he... I understand. But I was telling you as it is. Across the room, Dolores watches her mother lying unconscious, surrounded by medical equipment. She longs to go and give her a hug, but Edmund holds her back. Dolores, your mother is asleep. It's best not to leave her alone. Let me take you home. In a luxurious bedroom, Dolores clutches a giant teddy bear tightly. Some animals and dolls of every size crowd her bed, cover the floor, and fill every corner of her room. Even with Edmund bringing every toy from the entire house to fill her room, she still feels afraid. Edmund, when will Mom come home to be with me? I'm so scared. I can't sleep. And Dad, I haven't seen him for so many days. Where are they? Dolores, your father will be busy for a while. As for your mother, I'll be standing guard right outside your door. If you need anything at all, just call for me. Good night, Dolores. With a bow, Edmund backs out of the room and gently closes the door behind him. Feeling lonely and helpless in the darkness, Lois bites her lip trying to hold back her tears. Finally clutching her teddy bear, she breaks down sobbing, cries for what seems like forever before she falls asleep from fatigue. In her dark, hazy dream world, something like a gentle hand caresses Dolores' face while soft humming lingers by her ears. A bouquet of roses, a bouquet of lilies. When you wake up, my darling, they'll all be yours. Dolores shows awake from her dream, her eyes flying open, but the room remains completely empty. Dolores doesn't even stop to put on her shoes as she flings open the door, desperately searching for her mother. The hallway is completely empty. Even Edmund, who promises stand guard, is nowhere to be seen. The only sound is a distant argument coming from the basement. It's her father and Edmund. On the sound, Dolores tiptoes down the stairs. The door to her father's laboratory, a place she was never allowed to enter, stands ajar, spilling out a beam of light and the sounds of an increasingly heated argument. Too afraid to enter, Dolores decides instead to hide outside the door and eavesdrop on the argument between her father and the butler. With all due respect, Linus, what you're doing is absolutely inconsolable, even if you're the one running the family business now. I've been serving the effort since Isabel was just a little girl. I watched her grow up, all the way to this very day. She was a woman of dignity, not some puppet for you to manipulate as you please. Now that she's no longer with us, she deserves to rest in peace, not to be used as your test subject. Oh, yeah, I see. That's where this was. I see. He tried to use it to have his wife back. But right, yeah, it's like he'd be desecrating her. Who are you to speak to me like that? You're just a butler. As you just pointed out, I'm the one running the family business now. That gives me every right to do whatever I please. Linus, don't forget who you were. There's a starving scientist without a penny to your name. Where exactly do you think you found yourself today if it weren't for Isabel? I can't believe Isabel fell for a two-faced scoundrel like you. What did you just say? You better shut your trap now, you little shit. sound of something being violently smashed echoes to the door, followed by her father's increasingly furious curse. Right, because kind of what the story was supposed to represent is that he married into the family, right? But it's like Isabel's the main person of the Everett's family. In a dark corner where no one noticed her, Dolores, all tearful, crouches down and wraps her arms tightly around herself, known for grief. Wow. That's messed up. I mean, I get it. He is desperate for his wife, and this is kind of before the punishing, but still, man. I don't know. But yeah, it's like, if he really loved her, it's like, he still has his daughter at the very least. There's no reason to go to that much of the extremes. Through the curtain of rain, a girl stands motionless before her mother's grave. In a tombstone surrounded by fresh flowers, her mother's entire existence has been reduced to these few cold words. In loving memory, Isabel Everett. Cold drizzle soaks through Dolores' hair and a bouquet in her hands. She remains standing in silent vigil. We should head back, Dolores. The rain is picking up. Every year on this day you stand here alone from dawn till dusk. I'm sure it would be Isabel's heart if she ever saw you like this.
Edmund, is it true what they say? I mean, is my mother's body really not there under this stone? They say my father only buried an empty coffin here.
I've never heard such rumors myself, Dolores. With a tired, detached smile crossing her face, Dolores appears as though she's trying to convince herself of something she doesn't believe.
Yes, of course. But your mommy is resting right under this stone.
I should go, Dolores. Your coming-of-age ceremony today. The estate has been decorated. We'll be receiving a lot of guests for the banquet tonight.
Alright.
Lois casts one last mournful glance at her mother's tombstone before finally turning away. The evening's banquet lacks the all-night laughter and commotion typical of a celebration of a wealthy family. There's no passionate singing or dancing from young revelers. The elegantly dressed guests only exchange brief pleasantries, go through the motions of dining, then feeling awkward, quickly make excuses to leave. For long, the parking area outside the estate stands completely deserted once again. Lavishly decorated yet utterly somber, Dolores Everett's coming-of-age ceremony quickly draws to a close. Dolores sits alone at one end of the long table in her formal gown. Elaborate dishes before her have grown cold. The 18 candles on her birthday cake remain unlit. The guests from her coming-of-age ceremony have long since departed, leaving her alone in lifeless opulence. The whispers and murmurs she overheard linger in her mind. What's wrong with Linus Everett? It's his only daughter's coming-of-age ceremony today, and he's nowhere to be seen. Yeah, it's like, that's what I mean. It's like, he at least has his daughter, you know? And again, this is supposedly probably before maybe she had, like, inherited the same disease as her mother. So, at the very least, it's like, he could be there for her. And yeah, it's like, it's her coming-of-age ceremony, man. Her 18th birthday.
Exactly. It's completely improper. Even that poor girl to manage all these guests by herself. This whole thing would have been a disaster if it weren't for their old butler.
Ah, I see. Right, because it kind of because also to them it would feel like they didn't really matter, or that his daughter really matters, you know? So it's like, they're just there as, like, placeholders. You don't know the half of it. Turns out this Linus dude wasn't even from a distinguished family or anything. He's just a gold digger who married into money. I heard he used to be some kind of researcher, working on transferring human consciousness into mechanoids. A real weirdo he was. He couldn't find work anywhere and was so broke he could barely afford to eat. Then out of nowhere, Isabel took a liking to him. Not only did she shower him with money to continue his research, she also married him shortly after. That's just... wow. But that guy just coasted by on his good looks. Talk about lucky. And now he's the one running the family business with Isabel gone. What bad luck she had. She'd just taken control of the family fortune when she came down with this incurable disease. She'd been using a wheelchair before passing away. Rumor has it the guy is keeping Isabel's body at home for some sort of experiment.
God knows that that's true, though. Keep it down. You don't want Dolores to hear this. Poor girl, you ask me. Her mother's dead and her father's a complete oddball. Might as well be an orphan. I heard her mother's strange illness was hereditary. God knows that she's gonna end up with the same thing herself. Laura shakes her head gently, trying to banish those repulsive words from her mind. She turns to look at Edmund behind her. Takes his usual reserved demeanor, standing quietly, just as he has for more than a decade. Edmund. Yes, Dolores? How may I help? Can we do an opening for my coming of age ceremony? I'm sorry, Dolores, but I can't do that. That should be your father's responsibility. I am just his family's butler. Is that so? But I haven't seen him in such a long time. We live under the same roof, yet he always locks himself away in his lab. The truth is, Edmund, all these years, I've already come to see you as my father. You're the only one who's always been here for me. Please, Dolores, I don't deserve such a compliment. No matter what happens, I will always be loyal to you. Father bows deeply to Dolores, his aging voice betraying a hint of emotion. Dolores gives a bitter smile as she lights the candles on her birthday cake one by one. Dancing flames, her face is aglow. She watches the candles burn in silence, then closes her eyes to make a quiet wish. Finally, she opens her eyes and gently blows out the dancing flames. From this moment on, I am an adult. I deserve a say in the family matters. I can't let my father remain lost in his own world any longer. Gently waves her hand to stop Edmund from going with her. It's fine. I'll speak with father myself. You don't need to come with me, Edmund. Dolores turns and walks alone toward the Amanda's basement. She knocks on the door of the laboratory. How many times have I told you to never come here without my permission, Dolores? Father's voice comes through the heavy door, sounding somewhat distorted. Do you know what people say about you behind your back and what they say about our family? Dolores could barely contain her frustration, voice rising despite herself. Right, because again, it's like, it's for her mother's sake, right? And I guess we kind of have seen that, right? Like, for Linus, it's like, his wife has been the only thing for her, and aside from that, it's like, for some reason, he had some kind of attachment with his daughter, which I do find strange. I guess because he was more focused on his wife's deteriorating health. This is the only place you've ever been since Mom died. Please let me in, Father. After a brief silence, the heavy door swings open before Dolores with a thunderous sound. The long-absent Father has grown paler and more gaunt. She barely recognizes the look on his face now. Father's lips curl into what seems like a mocking smile. Your mother is perfectly fine. Why in the world are you spreading such nonsense, Dolores? Come, keep your mother company. Father sounds so gentle that it reminds Dolores of how he treated her many years ago when she was still a child. She's oblivious to the fact that Dolores is now a young woman. Without hesitation, Dolores follows her father into the laboratory. It's her first time setting foot in this place. In the harsh white lights, all sorts of laboratory equipment she didn't recognize fills the space, alongside very strange-looking mechanoids. In the vast laboratory, a mechanoid sits on a chair at the center of a testing chamber, surrounded by a tangle of intersecting cables. The metallic shell looks anything but human. Linus approaches the mechanoid and gently calls it out. Isabel, wake up! Dolores is here! Father's voice awakens the dormant mechanoid whose eyes slowly open. The mechanoid's lifeless visual modules slowly scan the objects in the room before finally locking onto Dolores. Slowly, the mechanoid opens its mouth to produce a voice identical to her mother's, except its tone and inflection completely lack any human cadence. Today's weather. Clear skies, temperature 25 degrees Celsius. Your hair is all messy. Come here. Let me brush it for you. Please ensure to switch me to maintenance mode before performing a frame module upgrade. Sleep now. Sleep in peace, my daughter. I love you forever. Everything good that the world has to offer shall be with you. A bouquet of roses, a bouquet of lilies. When you wake up, my darling, they'll all be yours. Frame core temperature slightly deviating from normal parameters. Entering self-repair mode. Repairing, repairing, repairing. Your hair is all messy. Come here. Let me brush it for you. Despite the Mechanoid's flat tone distorted speech, Dolores is still left in utter disbelief. Despite herself, Dolores approaches the Mechanoid. Mother, is that you? Are you really in there? It's me, Dolores. Come here. Come to Mother. Tears well up in Dolores' eyes. She can't even remember how long it's already been since she last said the word mother. Mechanoid sits in the chair, arms outstretched toward her, the same way Dolores' mother used to always welcome her home years ago. Dolores can no longer contain herself. She throws herself into the Mechanoid's embrace. Despite the cold metal frame, she lays her tear-streaked face on the Mechanoid's lap. I miss you so much, Mother. Don't cry, my child. Your hair is all messy. Come here. Let me brush it for you. Dolores feels the Mechanoid's hand gently stroke her hair. Despite the cold touch, it feels exactly the same as her mother's from years ago. The Mechanoid's hand gently gathering her hair and braiding with meticulous care. Starts humming a gentle lullaby as it continues braiding Dolores' hair. In her mother's embrace and listening to her lullaby, Dolores finds herself slowly filled with the joy of regaining something long lost. Personality deviance detected. Deviance rate 14%. Your hair. Messy. You. Brush. Let. Deviance rate 36%. Mom? What's happening to you, Mom? Lois looks up in panic and confusion, desperately trying to call her mother back from the chaotic state. Sharp pain surges through Dolores' head, causing her to instinctively jerk upright and away from the Mechanoid's lap. At around the Mechanoid's metal fingers is a lock of Dolores' hair that's been finally yanked from her scalp. You're not my mother. Dolores covers her mouth in shock, desperately finding the urge to scream in terror. The Mechanoid continues to repeat meaningless phrases in what is unmistakably Dolores' mother's voice. The voice, however, carries no warmth or emotion, only cold mechanical repetition. Lois backs away step by step, terrified of this lifeless metallic monster going haywire right before her eyes. It's just a machine and not her mother, Lois tells herself. Her father, however, grabs her shoulders from behind, preventing her from backing any further. What's gone into you? It's been years since you last saw your mother. Don't you want to spend some time with her? What did you do to Mother? So it's true what they say. You've been experimenting on Mother this whole time? He's been dead for years and yet you... Her screams at her father in despair, and he merely stares obsessively at the Mechanoid inside the sealed testing chamber. Turns to his daughter and gently does a shushing puppet gesture. Let's try to be quiet around your mother. Oz ignores his distraught daughter completely. As his attention back to the Mechanoid stays at her with unwavering focus. The pale-faced man is lost in his own world, muttering under his breath. What's going wrong? Why can't I get the personality parameters and behavioral models to function properly? Something's off. Something has to be off. I've tried everything and considered every possibility. What's going on? What am I missing? What exactly am I still missing? Isabel, tell me. What else do you need? Just tell me. I paced around the laboratory aimlessly, lost in his own thoughts. Occasionally, he would stop and speak softly to the Mechanoid as if it were actually his wife. He's adjusting the Mechanoid settings and hangs on every automated voice prompt it produces. Consciousness data incomplete. Percentage of critical parameters requiring repair 23%. Blindness. Impossible! This can't be happening! How could this be happening? I swear to God, I completed the transfer and simulation of all Isabel's consciousness. How could anything still be missing? I need to figure out what's missing. What exactly is missing, though? Where could it possibly be? Tell me, Isabel. Where's that critical piece of memory you're missing? Linus, I was so happy with you. I had you and our little Dolores. I've been wanting to have just a few more years to live, just to see her grow up. That's not mother.
Dolores falls to her knees behind her father and screams in anguish. The man lost in his own world suddenly jolted back to reality by his daughter's crime. Someone waiting for a trance, he turns to face his daughter, staring at her as if seeing her for the first time. Feeling hits him that Dolores now has a face directly similar to her mother's.
I see it now. I see what's going on now. I know what's missing now. The personality parameters couldn't be properly calibrated because you, Isabel, are missing some consciousness data. I just need to fill in what's missing. Yes, I'll fill in the missing pieces of your personality data. You'll be whole again. That's it. Funny how that never occurred to me before.
I suddenly sees Dolores' wrist, his eyes ablaze with manic excitement. He pulls Dolores across the room back to where the mechanoid was.
You gave birth to Dolores. She's an extension of you. She's part of your personality, has to be in her. I'm going to give her back to you now. You'll be whole again. You'll be perfect again. Father, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Let go of me.
Growing despair, Dolores sees what her father's trying to do with her. The man before her now only has a manic stranger. It's no longer the father she once knew. Shows her experiment chamber. Heavy isolation door slammed shut, separating the two of them. Now back at the control panel, Linus punches the parameter settings away with panic precision. As he works, an unearthly glow begins to shine through the mechanoid's eyes. His eyes works, another mechanical voice activates. A cold electronic tone announces the progress of his manic plan. Initiating brainwave activity scan on test subject. Integrity of personality data confirmed. Message transfer protocol ready. Confirm extraction of subject's personality matrix. Warning, this process is irreversible. Lois pounds her fist against the transparent chamber door until her knuckles split and bleed. But the door doesn't budge it one bit. Crimson smears bloom across the glass with each of Dolores' punches. Linus remains unmoved, deliberately avoiding Dolores' calls for help.
I'm your daughter, father. Your daughter.
As his fingers pause over the control panel for just a heartbeat. He finally looks at her, his eyes are completely cold, so clinically detached. Dolores feels awash in horror.
You were never meant to exist, Dolores. Your mother was already ill in the pregnancy. Carrying you to term only made everything worse. We had agreed not to have kids, but then you came along. We never saw it coming. But Isabel had a complete change of mind. Her life was suddenly all about you. She wouldn't listen to reason. Wouldn't take care of herself anymore. Her very existence came at the cost of her life. Everything you are exists because she sacrificed herself. And now, it's time you return what you took from her.
Wow, what the hell, man? That's messed up.
No, please don't do this. It won't be long now, Isabel. You'll be back with me soon.
A gunshot shatters his silence. Isaac's hands freeze over the controls as he stares down in disbelief at the crimson bloom spreading across his chest. Without a word, he crumples to the ground. Right then, a man bursts through the doorway.
Dolores.
Edmund the butler rushes to the experimental platform and flings open the chamber door. He sets Dolores free and positions himself protectively in front of her, shielding her with his body. Pistol remained trained on the fallen man, the man who was once his master. The dying man drags himself across the floor, leaving a crimson trail behind him. His last efforts of strength, he crawls toward the grotesque mechanoid.
Isabel.
As his trembling fingers make contact with the mechanoid. With tremendous effort, he pulls himself up, clinging desperately to the mechanoid that houses both his obsession and Isabel's very life. Under him, his blood pools into a dark crimson puddle.
Isabel, don't be afraid. I want to go home, Linus. Don't be afraid. I'm here with...
The man's feeble voice falls silent. Like the internal embrace with his beloved, frees her with a smile of twisted contentment as his final breath escapes him. The mechanoid that's supposed to be Dolores' mother repeats the same meaningless phrase on and on, father lying lifeless next to it. Dumbfounded, Dolores isn't quite sure what to make of the scene. Having just escaped death, she clutches Edmund's lapels. Beyond horrified and unable to talk, she sobs uncontrollably. Even as his exhaustion overwhelms her, the sobs subside. Dolores doesn't let go of Edmund. sole anchor to safety in a world turned upside down. It's over now, Dolores. You're safe. Everything's going to be alright. Come, let me take you away from this place. I'll see to it that everything here is taken care of. Herman kneels down and gently attempts to help Dolores to her feet, deliberately slow and careful. But Dolores remains frozen in place, dawning horror slowly creeping across her face. What's wrong, Dolores?
I can't stand up.
The terror in Dolores' eyes intensifies. As her palms against the floor and strains with all her might to push herself up, her legs refuse to cooperate. Oh, I see. Again and again she tries to rise, each attempt more desperate than the last. Her body betrays her again and again and collapses back to the floor.
What's happening to me? I can't feel my legs anymore. What's happening to me, Edmund?
Dolores screams in despair as she frantically pounds her fist against her unresponsive legs. From this day forward, Dolores never walks again. The very same incurable disease cursed Dolores has all but forgotten, whose claim to murder's life is now back upon the family that claimed Dolores herself as its next victim. Damn. I mean, I get why she hates mechanoids, you know, because it's what her father had made her mother into. Like that. I guess, like, not even with express consent, like, he did it all on his own, thinking, like, that's the answer. It's like, no, man, come on. And he really had to say that about his own daughter as well? Like, why? You saw how much he loved her daughter. You saw how much he loved Dolores. There's no reason to think like that if she cared that much about her. But then again, I guess he just wanted her all to himself, really. Damn. I guess that's why she doesn't really have sympathy for mechanoids, right? Because again, it's like that kind of thing is what distorted their family a bit in a way. It's not like the whole blame, because again, it was mainly with Linus, but still. Wait, so then is Overseer actually Edmund, but just turned into a mechanoid? The once thriving manor now stands in silent decay, having never received any guests in ages. Rumor has it that the master and lady of the manor perished in some terrible accident, leaving their only daughter languishing in her sickbed, waiting death's inevitable grip. Unbeknownst to them, however, is that there is a secret laboratory under the now decrepit manor that operates day and night, carrying out an urgent experiment. The young researcher hunches over his control panel, fingers working methodically across the interface. Every few moments his eyes dart nervously toward the ceiling-mounted security camera, flinches whenever its faint red light blinks. It hasn't been long since he started working here. He is acutely aware of the fact that their every move in the laboratory is being closely watched by a certain director through the surveillance system. On just the second day, he watched in horror several senior researchers who had a few experimental blunders were escorted from the lab by a stern-looking butler. None of them was ever seen again. Such a generous salary comes with equally high expectations, he reasons. His colleagues must have been dismissed by the consortium's classified project. He soundly prays he won't meet the same fate, though deep down he suspects dismissal might mean something far worse. Not to insult that he's young, with his scientific career still stretching before him like an unwritten page. His project, dangerous as it may be, is the launchpad his ambitions need. Perfect stage for his brilliance to finally shine. He refuses to return to those wasted years after graduation. Fresh from academia's ivory tower, only to find himself scrubbing test tubes in endless laboratories, his brilliance dimming with each menial task assigned to someone like himself who is clearly destined for greater things. Determined to scale the heights of scientific achievement, the young researcher pushes himself relentlessly. He's first to arrive every morning and last to leave at night. His figure familiarly sighted against the lab's harsh lights when everyone else has gone home. Where everyone else sees tedium, he finds fascination, poring over data sets in reverent attention, approaching each experimental protocol with a fervor his colleagues simply cannot comprehend. The researcher snaps back to reality and forces his wandering mind to focus on the task at hand. Once more, he initiates the procedures performed countless times before. A delicate process of transferring simulated consciousness data into a mechanoid vessel. Initiating simulated consciousness data mapping. Integration test 167. As the researcher inputs his commands, data streams across the experimental panel begin to pulse. His eyes lock into the fluctuating progress bar. His heart races as the bar crosses the critical threshold, going from a warning red to a promising green. The bar, by the second, inches closer to completion. I see. So, this whole process, I'm assuming, has all taken place before the punishing virus, right? Or I guess before the 0-point reactor became a thing. Because, again, it's like, this is how it was. It was just a test. They haven't fully been able to make humans into constructs with their consciousness, right? Intact. Because again, then that's like how everyone that we know is. Lucia, Lee, Liv. Guess the problem is, like, this whole incident just took place earlier before the foundation of such a theory had actually been solidified. Yes, come on. Let's make it happen this time. Researcher murmurs these words like incantations. As though his whispering encouragement would somehow speed up the process. His body tense with anticipation, he rests from his chair despite himself. Right then the bar had come so far without any hiccup, freezing in place. But for the promising green, quickly drains away and turns red again. Damn it! Magic coefficient is dropping. Reduce the signal to noise ratio, now! Red bar continues its merciless retreat. Why is it still dropping? No, this isn't working. Amplify input signal strength. Filter out the noise. Progress bar hits 0. Staring blankly at the cascade of error messages flooding the display panel, he lets out a long defeated sigh. Integration test number 167. Failed. Falls back into his chair, shoulders sagging with defeat. Runs his fingers through his disheveled hair and begins to mutter to himself. It's not working. Signal interference always rockets out of control whenever I load the simulated consciousness data into a mechanoid. No matter how I adjust the parameters. No matter playing with the parameters seems to work. It's pointless. Just wasting time at this point. Need to report these findings to management. Having noticed his distress, some of his colleagues walk up to him. Don't beat yourself up over this. If the project is impossible, that's not on us. Gotta question this project instead of blaming yourself. Exactly. I mean, transferring human consciousness into mechanoids? Come on. This whole thing has only existed as a theory up until now. They can't really expect us to come up with any breakthroughs anytime soon, right? I heard this consortium funded this whole same project years ago, but sheltered when they couldn't make any breakthroughs. Where did they decide to come back to it after all this time? Who cares? The pay is fantastic. The consortium has money to burn. Once this project wraps up, I'll be halfway to financial independence. Ain't no point worrying about anything. Sure, the money's good, but these confidentiality agreements are brutal. No leaving the facility, no outside contact. Might as well be prisoners. We're scientists, for crying out loud. Oh, I see. Yeah, so that's why they always, like, clean up the mess every time a researcher leaves, right? Because they don't want anyone else taking this experiment. Because if they did, they'd probably put a real, like, big price tag on it. It's like, no, we started it first, but then it's like, nah, but we completed it. What about those guys from a while back? Weren't they fired because their experiment data wasn't promising? We can't even reach out to ask where they landed new jobs. Look, we can think all we want, but it ain't getting us anywhere. Just do the work and be done with it. Clearly more experienced, the veterans continue to noisy chatter about the project, completely oblivious to the worried look on the young man's face. When they're done venting, they give the young researcher a few perfunctory pats on the shoulder and return to their respective workstations. These veterans have mastered the art of slacking off. Every day they put on a show of being busy, run through the procedures once with exaggerated diligence, then submit completely fabricated data. The young researcher, on the other hand, stands out like a sore thumb, being the only one committed to producing real scientific results. After a long moment of contemplation, the young researcher seems to have made up his mind. Deep breath, he dials an internal extension on his terminal. A few weeks later, a composed voice of a man comes online. The young man has had limited interactions with him. He knows that This Edmund is essentially the one taking care of things around here. Your researcher was, in fact, onboarded to work on this project by none other than Edmund himself. Young Ben, however, can clearly tell that Edmund is just a front man, that someone else is pulling the strings behind the scenes. What's going on? Is there something wrong with the lab? Sir, I really hated having to bother you, but I do have something urgent to report to management. Just focus on your work. I'm the one you should talk to if you ever run into any issues. But the experiment is stuck. We tried everything we could think of, but I made absolutely no breakthroughs. I've gone through years of previous research records. I'm convinced we're heading in a completely wrong direction. A researcher, having broken his silence, launches into an impassioned monologue about all the experimental approaches they had tried and which ended in failure. I mean, he is kind of at least showing that, yeah, he's tried all these approaches and nothing's working. So it's like, maybe he's at least asking for like, is there another route we can take? Is there maybe like a different field where we can lead back up to this? Because again, so far they just don't have the means of making that breakthrough. He doesn't even care if Edmund follows. We're just wasting our time doing things the way we have all this time. Hello? Sir? You still there? The loud tone signals a new connection on the other end of the terminal, followed by an exceptionally young voice of a female.
Go on. I'm listening. I've been following this project's progress very closely.
The researcher didn't expect anyone else to join the call. The stranger's interest in the project rekindles his fading hope.
So, here's the situation. I've tried every approach imaginable, but I just can't push past the data compatibility threshold in the consciousness transfer experiments. No matter how I adjust the parameters, I always end up with noise corrupting the results. And
Primo's voice cuts him off impatient.
So, what's your conclusion?
Researcher grips his terminal tightly, summoning the courage to deliver his conclusion.
My conclusion is this. The project is fundamentally impossible to complete in the short term. Is that so? I see. Excellent. You've got a good head on your shoulders. I'm appointing you as the research director for this project. Edmund, bring him to my office. We'll have some discussion about where this research project is going next.
Understood.
Yes, of course. I gather all the previous data reports will be right over to brief you.
The woman on the other end hangs up. The idea of reporting the situation upward excites the young man. The prospect of an imminent promotion convinces him that he needs to take this opportunity seriously. He quickly organizes everything and downloads it to his terminal. He ignores the puzzled glances from his colleagues as he mentally rehearses how he's going to present his findings during the upcoming meeting. I get a bad feeling about this, right? Because it's like, he's bringing all the data. Edmund arrives promptly to lead the young researcher out of the laboratory. Guides through the mansion's labyrinthine corridors.
Sir, where exactly are we going? I thought I was supposed to report to the project director.
We're almost there. Edmund's icy expression silences the young researcher immediately. Despite his composure, the young researcher feels uneasier. But a second as soon as he realizes they're heading deeper into the basement levels of the estate. The complete absence of anyone else along the way only intensifies his apprehension.
Finally, they reach a dim enclosed underground corridor.
At the end, or at its end, stands a single rusted door that slowly creaks open, letting out a wave of dank, foul-smelling air from the darkness beyond.
The director is waiting for you inside.
Go in.
Where the hell is this place? What do you plan to do with me? I came here to do a job, not to be pushed around by rich bastards like you. I quit. Right here and now. I'm done with this.
Newfound courage, the researcher refused to comply and turns to leave. The young man, however, freezes at the sound of a gun being cocked. Turning around, he finds himself staring down the dark barrel of Edmund's pistol.
What are you doing?
I said, get inside. Edmund violently shifts the researcher's shoulder, causing him to lose his footing and tumble into the dark room. Terrified, the researcher lands on what feels like a pile of objects. Squinting at the faint light flickering at the doorway, he gradually makes out what surrounds him. Several lab coats and ID cards are scattered about. Those in the cards belong to his colleagues who've gone missing. Several gunshots drown out his screams. Moments later, Edmund shuts the door heavy behind him. Returns to the hallway. say directly to the inconspicuous camera mounted on the scene. As you wish, Dolores. We'll raise no more objections about the project. Yeah, it's just they don't want people forcibly trying to give up on the project. Hours later, the still shaken researcher hides in the forest beyond the estate grounds as he stares at Edmund in disbelief. Here, all your belongings are in this bag. Lie low for a while, move to another city, never come back here. I'll find a way to help those in the lab escape in small groups. Remember, no matter what happens, never ever try to reach out to one another after this. I'm truly sorry for dragging you all into this, but as much as I can do for you. Oh, I see. He stages it as if they died in there, like just of hunger or dehydration, and then like does the cleanup. But in actuality, he's just waiting to make sure that only the process is seen, but not the actual final result. And then that's when he takes them out. I see. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like Edmund really does care about them, but it's like he is also human in the end. Just promise me that you won't go to the police. Because if you do, then I'm afraid. I don't get it. Why are you still here? You saved my life. You're a good man. You should get out of here yourself. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Edmund has been a good guy. He stuck through it with his whole family. Because look, at the very least, the lady of the household was a very nice woman, Isabel. And Linus, yeah, he was kind of taking advantage, but it's like... But again, it's like he can't really hold it completely against the daughter, because, again, the whole environment and how Linus was, it's like, ugh. But yeah, I guess I could kind of see Doll more, or not, I don't know why I'm confusing with different games. Dolores is kind of a victim of circumstance, at least to me anyway, so I definitely feel more bad for her than it's like a lot of other villains, because again, it's like she's been molded into this. Whether she wanted to or not, she just wanted her happy family back together. It's like, she could have still had it, you know? Again, she had Edmund, her father was still around, they still had the estate, but it's just the father chose not to have anything to do with her. It's like, what can you do after that? And Mississippi shakes his head as he casts a worried yet longing glance at the estate. Someone needs to take care of Dolores. She's going to die if I leave. Edmund says nothing more. Stepping past the young researcher's shoulder, then rises and walks back the way he came. Setting sun bathing the ivy-covered estate in a blood-red glow. Edmund stands in silence before the mansion, gazing up at the window on the top floor. By the window, Dolores watches him quietly.
So this is what you call loyalty, Edmund?
Dolores watches the butler enter with a suddenly calm.
I'm sorry, Dolores. You let them go. Every single one of them. You got in the way of my plan and set free those that should have died. Is this how you show me your loyalty? Dolores, your tea has grown cold. Allow me to bring you a fresh cup.
Edmund pauses and bends down to replace the cold tea on the side table.
Answer my question.
Evading her questions, Dolores flies to her rage. Snatches the teacup and throws it violently to the floor. The carpet absorbs the impact, silencing what should have been a crash. The teacup rolls across the floor unbroken.
I'm sorry, Dolores. Please, let's stop these experiments.
His lips tremble as he speaks.
You've seen it yourself, haven't you? These experiments are going nowhere. Every single researcher who's ever worked here came to the same conclusion. Dolores, please spare yourself this torment. I really don't want. I don't want you to become like your father.
Impressive laboratory doors, a sickly glow of failing lights, a burning man cradling bizarre machinery. Edmund can't bear to see Dolores, whom he raised with his own hands, turn to another monster.
Don't even think for a second that I don't know what you're up to, Edmund. You're just after our money like everyone else. I knew it. You're just like the rest of them. You're just one of those vultures, all waiting for me to surrender, waiting for me to die.
Dolores shrieks hysterically. Years of physical suffering and endless battles against all her relatives, eyeing their fortune, and transformed her into a deeply paranoid and eccentric woman. Oh, right. I guess, yeah, that would happen too. Because again, the Everett family was a well-fortunate family, supposedly. Again, it's like we haven't heard about like cousins or aunts or uncles and stuff, so with Linus also gone, Dolores will have less of a claim to the fortune. Not to say that she won, but it'd be much harder for her to maintain it. I see. So that's also been kind of the thing. It's like she's just been going through so much of these adult life situations, even though she doesn't know what's going on. Dolores, I'm not. The response comes in the form of a teapot finally hurled at his feet. The teapot doesn't shatter. The carpet put in place specifically to protect Dolores from injury quietly cradles the fragile porcelain. She looks down at the teapot rolling across the floor. Flicker lucidity returning to her eyes. Dolores, you'll be alright. I'll find the finest specialists. Then assumes to retrieve the teapot from the floor. He's gentle as he tries to soothe Dolores. Yes, of course. I won't be dying anytime soon. I won't be dying. But you, Edmund. Before Edmund can react, the dark barrel of a gun is pointing squarely at the bundle's chest. Dolores. Of course, I won't die. But you, Edmund. I wouldn't say the same about you. With attachment, Dolores watches the bundle struggle to his feet, desperate to escape. There's a smooth mouth for his soft, delighted laugh. I hate you, Edmund. Father's dead. Mother's dead. I'm dying too. Why are you still alive? Why are you still so healthy? I hate all of you. I hate healthy humans. And I hate machines that never fall ill. Only me. Only I'm trapped here. Confined to this mansion waiting to die. Why do I have to be stuck with the short end of the stick? Blood bubbles from the corner of Edmund's mouth as he wobbles toward the impossibly distant door. He falls lifelessly to the floor. The toxic smell of blood seeps into the silent carpet as Dolores stares unwaveringly at Edmund's lifeless body. You can't escape, Edmund. Don't even think about leaving this place. Puts her frail body upright and methodically connects the experimental devices to Edmund's body with surprising dexterity. Following the system prompts, she keeps her eyes on the fluctuating readings of the control panel. Her eyes darting across every changing number. Each member progress bar just forward and briefly surpasses the critical threshold before gradually grinding to a halt. Refuse to accept failure until Dolores frantically hammers at the buttons of the control panel. A moment later, the frozen progress bar begins to crawl forward once again. Partial consciousness data retrieved. Consciousness match coefficient 45%. Memory data partially corrupted. Proceed with force activation. Warning. This action will result in permanent memory loss. In a moment's hesitation, Dolores pressed the confirm button. Dolores. As the loading bar reaches completion, the mechanoid that Dolores put in place long ago slowly opens its eyes on the other side of the room. Dolores. Hello. Good day to you. Edmund? Good day. I am Edmund. I am your butler. No matter what happens, I will always remain loyal to you. Yes, that's what you always used to say, Edmund. That you would always remain loyal to me, right? Echo climbs out of the chamber and stands silently behind Dolores. That's more like it, Edmund. I can forgive you for what you have done, but since you let those researchers go, you have to continue their work yourself. Mass experimental data and procedures are compiled into files and uploaded to the mechanoid's memory shell. Under Dolores' command, the mechanoid continues the hopeless experiments. The manor remains as desolate as ever. Dolores summons Edmund into her room. We're falling behind. We need more mechanoids for this project. Only the most powerful mechanoids can meet my requirements. I'll create for them a brand new stage for them to shine. Gaze at the images of the Colosseum on the screen before her. Smile slowly spreading across her face. Sometime later, the long-dormant Everett Manor suddenly becomes the source of a new sensation. Oh, so it is. The Everett Manor ended up becoming this. Mechanoid Arena. Endless thrills guaranteed. Guaranteed to get your blood pumping. Create the thrill of the Coliseum? Want to feel a rush of pure adrenaline burst? Come to the Everett Arena now. Choose your favorite gladiator and place your bets. Blood, excitement, carnage. Enjoy a good time. The virtual announcer's voice reaches the top floor control room, slightly distorted by a thick glass barrier. To the monitor, a raging battle unfolds between mechanoids in the arena. The horde of rhinoceros-looking mechanoids morphs into a long gleam as it charges the human-looking mechanoid standing opposite, long as it goes. In an instant, the human-looking mechanoid shredding into flying head of sharks. Vividly red-colored oil sprays in all directions, captivating every spectator in the stands. Cheer wildly, demanding more explosive matches.
Look at that, Edmund. Yes, Master. This is what I need. We acquire more experimental materials while squeezing every last fortune from the stupid bastards in the stands. There's 2 birds, 1 stone. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, Master.
As the match comes to an end, the spectators cheer wildly, eagerly awaiting the next person to show up. So sit back and enjoy this ultimate entertainment. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. The virtual announcer's animated voice filmed the arena. The stage is set for another round of gladiatorial combat. The female mechanoid with a long tail lands in the hand, so he steps into the gleaming spotlight at the center of the arena. Watch the mechanoid walk to the arena, Dolores breaks into a faint smile.
Surprise me, Veronica.
Wow. That is sad though, you know? The Everett Manor was just supposed to be a loving family together. And then it ended up becoming this by their warped desires. It's cruel. Too cruel. Damn shame. Okay, but at least now I can have a much better understanding as to why Veronica hates humans, but it doesn't exactly explain how she ended up coming to be, you know? Like, we saw how Nanami had been given form. We kind of have an understanding as to Han Ying and who she was before becoming a member of the Church of Machina. But we never learned about, like, how Veronica ended up being a special construct here, you know? Because, again, all the other mechanoids, they just look like the regular ones that we faced, but Veronica's, like, the only regular, like, humanoid construct within the vicinity. So how did that happen? I kind of was expecting that we would be getting answers for that. Like, I would think that's the most important thing. Like, as, like, her own sense of closure. And we didn't even see, like, the moment she joined the Church of Machina, when she was approached by, like, maybe Nanami or someone. I'm kind of surprised. So, I will say this one's okay, you know? I liked Sarah. May she rest in peace. Because she still did right by her friend, even when it was dangerous, even though she's only human. Having to potentially fight a whole bunch of robots off just to save Veronica, so that was good. And this story was really heartbreaking, the one about the Everett family. Like, it really hurt to have to watch. Not like it hurt like it sucked, but like it hurt because it's just so sad how it ended. So it does do a good job in the impact it gives you. I definitely will say that. But again, I feel like this would have been a good time to put in some extra elements there, because like I said, even a little bit of like how she was approached to join the Church of Machina, like I could understand why she would join, because again, it's like she had lost a lot of faith in humanity. Like, seeing Sarah as like one of the only few exceptions to the rule, possibly, right? Considering how twisted Dolores was, how crazy and maniacal a lot of the audience was in the arena. So it's like, I could kind of understand that. I just kind of wish we got a bit of a teaser as to like how she ended up joining as well. And like I said, I would have liked to have had a much better understanding as to how a mechanoid such as herself was so unique here, right? Especially if a lot of these mechanoids were created like that. Because it's like, if she had created a mechanoid like Veronica in the first place, why did she even give her a soul if she could have just made this perfect body and then just put her soul in there, right? So it's like she had to have gotten Veronica from somewhere. I refuse to believe that it's like she was just already within the vicinity, just up for grabs, and just didn't think anything about it. Because I mean, yes, I know in the end it's like she did also want a construct that was strong, and if she couldn't prove her capabilities on the battlefield, then it wouldn't guarantee her survival after the memory or the consciousness transfer. But still, I would have liked a bit more clarity on that. So it's not bad. The action was pretty good. The whole thing about the arena was good. But like I said, I feel like this would have been great to like put some much more finer details on like exploring certain areas of Veronica's story, you know? It's not wasted potential, but it's like it could have gone a bit more for the mile. I'm not saying it would have been as good as No One's. I'm not saying it would have been as good as Wanchi's, even if it did have that, no. But it's like, I feel like it would at least be an equal standing with some of these like Hanying's, Bridget, and the Arc Beyond as well. Those are pretty good ones. But again, out of the floating records, I still say No One's is definitely the top, and I also say Wanchi's is tied for the top. Oh no, yeah, because actually Lilith's was also a really good one as well. How could I forget? It's same for Vera's. Genevieve's was alright, you know? If anything, I'd still say Begin Anew is actually better than Ideal Cage in my opinion. But yeah, aside from that, it's like, it's okay, you know? Like, it's alright. But like I said, the action at least was pretty good, so I'll let that slide. And I didn't have to go through so many, like, stupid puzzles that's like I end up doing sometimes, so that's another bless that I got. But yeah, that'll be the end of this for now. Like I said, we will try to do Crescent Sun and Woven Prologue over the course of this, but for now, I think it's a good place to kind of like end it currently, because like I said, I'm gonna have to take time out to focus on a lot of the other games I'm playing right now, so I will focus on Crescent Sun next, because then I'll already have a Woven Prologue open, because it's only open currently for because of limited access. But I actually do want to go through Crescent Sun and see how that Yuka Saotome boss ends up becoming a thing. And learn more about Yada, because again, she's one of the other constructs who's like, they sometimes add it into the stories like a background character, but it's like, you really do want to know like what they got in store for us, so I'll be interested to see how that goes about. And also about Discord, you know, because again, we know her relationship between her and Lilith, but seeing what exactly this would hold, like, is it going to reflect a bit about the past, is it going to be more about the present? I'd be interested to see what direction they're going to go with that. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream for today. Like I said, I will try to do another stream later tonight. Let's see. I probably will do, like I said, probably Digimon, because again, I've already done the grinding for that. I'm gonna grind later in the day to do some like for East 9 Monster Nox, so then I can have more time to grind for Trails in the Sky first chapter over the next couple days, so then we can be ready for continuing main story for that. Considering we're in like the second to last region of Liberl before we continue with everything. Wait, what's Liberl? Yeah, okay, it was. But yeah, anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream but already found the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check out my YouTube channel, I post live VODs, subscribe as well. Join Discord, you guys not ready. Links to all those on the channel. This has been Santos Wise. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys next time.
休んでください。今すぐ。熊をつけたままうろつかれるのはごめんです。周囲の美観を損ねます。